I'm Josh Mazerel, and this is day one of the Deathwish Mud Buggy Adventure.
Oh, what happened?
We were gone for 2 minutes.
We were gone for 2 minutes, man.
What'd it do?
Steer wheel ripped off and went back on. I know my rights.
Is this everything you ever dreamed of, Jeremy?
This is exactly what I dreamed it to be.
Yes! 2 wheels in the air gets a letter. 4 wheels in the air gets a letter. Yes, I'm talking to you, Eric. Best friends are here. I'm Josh Mazerel.
And I'm Fatter.
And you're watching Deathwish. So Deathwish Mud Buggy Adventure is cars from all over the country that were never offered in four-wheel drive but have been converted with a minimum of 33-inch tires. We're doing 2 days of trail rides, challenges, and competitions. So the purpose of this whole Deathwish Mud Buggy Adventure was really just to put the fun back in the wheeling, because most of us started with sort of janky jalopy rigs with 33s in a locker, and they progressed, they hit that four-wheel drive puberty all the way up to these rock bouncers, and we all sit around and gas each other up about the old days and how much fun it was when Dan was stuck on the gatekeeper, but nobody has the humility to downgrade their Jeep to 33s with lockers. So when you're forced to build a Caprice or a town car, you're not going to invest your heart, soul, and entire passion into it, and you're forced to just have fun with it and have fun with your friends, and that's what we're here for.
Got oil pressure?
Yeah, like 50 pounds.
There you go.
Yeah, it was the most exciting thing that's happened so far. That and making it here, which is pretty cool.
Hey guys, I'm Adam from Swansea, New Hampshire. We just got down to Tennessee yesterday for the Mud Buggy Adventure, whatever it is. Buggy, I think Boogie's hillbilly. That's my 85 Lincoln Town car. So we got, I'll go right through the powertrain. We got a 12 valve Cummins with a ZF6 Ford transmission. South Bend hooked us up on a couple clutches to get that figured out, and it just goes beautiful. We're sitting on an 05 Super Duty chassis, shortened 38.5 inches to meet wheelbase. We're riding on 37s. Powertrain wise, suspension wise, we're just bone stock. It was the tight deadlines and everything going on. We're rolling with this, but I think it's going to work out really well. I think the weight of the car and the height of it and what we got, it's going to be pretty good out on the trails.
Final contestant.
Oh, okay. It's got tires in the back, too.
Eric towed his car down to Windrock from New Hampshire, and it had never run. He's not a car builder, he's not a fabricator, and he did all of that all of himself, and that was the first time that car ran and drove, and I am pumped for it.
How's it feel? It ran and drove.
It moves. I don't know. I don't even know how it feels. I don't know what to call it.
Just tidy a few things up, you'll be ready to run.
Dude! I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, buddy.
My name is Eric Snelling. I'm from Marlboro, New Hampshire, and this is my 1971 Dodge Charger. I'm not a fabricator by any means, merely a mechanic, a machinist for a living. And I wanted to do it, and I had help from my friends over at Vague Industries, and they taught me a lot in the past couple of years, and I decided to just do it. I had a lot of help from my friends, and immeasurable amount of help from my old man. Without him, I wouldn't be here. It's got a 6-liter LS in it, 4L80 MP208, Dana 60 front, 14-bolt rear. It's on 37s. Should work pretty good, at least sprung all the way around. I brought the car down here. It wasn't ready. It didn't run. I didn't know if the motor had any oil pressure. It was free, came out of a truck that didn't make oil pressure. Transmission was untested. It was basically just a big mystery. They decided to put it on a trailer anyway and bring it however many hours to Tennessee and figure it out here in the dirt and the rocks. And with help from everybody here, we got it running and working. So it's pretty bitchin'. And I'm more than ecstatic to have it done, at least to this level, and to drive it around.
Is it bitchin'?
It's bitchin'. Bitchin'.
Hi, I'm John Giffen. I'm from Antrim, New Hampshire, and this is our four-wheel drive Volvo.
Yeah.
So my name's John Giffen. I also run Giffen's Performance, and what I actually build is LS swap mounts for Volvo. So this Volvo is supposed to be our R&D car. We just make up parts and LS swap parts and stuff for it. So when Josh asked us to come to the Deathwish show, we decided to make it four-wheel drive, and being street guys, we're not really four-wheel drive guys. So this is what it is. Most of all this in here is actually a 2500 Silverado HD, 6-liter 4L80 NP261, 10.5-inch full float rear end. We have a Ford Dana 60 Kingpin in the front. It's also running WFO Concepts front brake mount for Silverado front brakes. We even have the Silverado Hydro Boost that's modified to go on the Volvo pedal. It's just simple square body K10 rear springs. Made all the mounts right to the factory subframes. These Volvos are very strong. So we didn't have to put a frame under or brace it up much. In fact, we didn't even cut the tunnel to put the 4L80 and the transfer case in. Transfer case fits right in the bump in the floor, right where there's usually a fuel pump or a fuel filter in these cars. So we actually didn't have to cut the tunnel at all. We have a express van steering box, so it's two-wheel drive to do the high steer, cross steer. The power windows work, sunroof works. I mean, it's pretty basic, really.
What size tires is it sitting on?
It's 37 1250 17s. We found those on eBay for $1,000 for 5. Yeah, we didn't get time to lock the front axle at all. It just has a gov lock in the back, which will probably give up about 5 feet into the trail. We messed up the geometry in the front, so we had to put some spacers in there to stop the shackles from locking out and over rotating. But yeah, this is our Volvo, and we're gonna have some fun with it. Expectations, I think my stops for the front shackles are going to give up, which will put my tie rod right into my oil pan. That front drive shaft's made up about 15 different pieces. I welded it, that's going to give up. Our skid pan, it's only a 1-inch tube and 1/8-inch plate. I'm sure we're going to crush the transfer case. And it's going to overheat probably about the time we get to the bottom of the hill. So yeah, that's our expectation. We brought a trailer because it's not coming home in one piece. That's going to be a good time.
So did you section like the body, the fender well area back here to fit the tires, or how'd that work?
Yeah, so I didn't want to have to cut, quote unquote, the cab corner for tire clearance. So what I did is I actually cheated the axles 3 inches back, front and back, towards the ends. Try and reduce our approach angle, front and back. So to do that, I mean, obviously we cut out this whole fender and then realized we have our gas tank right there, so we couldn't really actually make the fender well good. Yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell.
What do you think about all the people on the internet saying that they thought it was an XJ or a Cherokee?
I think it's hilarious. I think this is just the Cherokee's hot Swedish cousin, you know, the 740. Even diehard Volvo guys, this was actually posted on Lifted Volvos, and one of the diehard Volvo guys, like, there's not even a Volvo in that picture. And I'm like, look again, it's a 740 Volvo. So yeah, I think it's awesome. That after the roof rack came with it. We bought the car for $400 with the roof rack.
So what do you think your all-in budget is on the whole build right now?
I think I'm right at maybe $3,100, and majority of that was tires, wheels, rims. Like I said, I also part out Silverado, so the whole drivetrain was basically free. I bought the front axle off my son for $650. So majority of it is, I did have the rear drive shaft made. So it's like the high steer kit, the brake kit, a new radiator, wheels and tires. Yeah, that's the majority of the cost in it. So
Heck yeah.
I mean, even like the rock sliders and stuff is just garbage too. We had sitting around the shop and just threw it in there.
Awesome. It's definitely one of the cooler looking builds. Definitely gonna turn some heads.
Yeah, it's got a lot of people like it. I think personally it's the hubcaps.
Yeah.
I think that sets off the whole build. That's our crowning achievement right there.
Hey, I'm Michael Brandt with GarageBound LLC in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is my friend Lucky Chucky.
I'm Chuck Fott, and I was his partner on this build, and we built this awesome 49 Packard.
We call it the 49 Packard Rescue Pig because we built this vehicle to where we could do any welding and fabricating and some mechanical repair works while on the trail. So we can get to you if you're in need.
We started out with a 49 Packard chassis. It was a barn find. Someone restored it and it had been sitting. We tried to get rid of it as far as people restoring it. No one really wanted it, so this was a perfect project. Then we picked up a 96 Dodge Ram chassis. We shortened it 9 inches to fit the body, sectioned all the wheel wells, got a big block Chevy out of a motorhome, transfer case out of a 65 Ford, 37-inch Falcon tires, dually out of a school bus.
A lot of our sponsors contributed some really great equipment to make this a mobile fabrication shop. So not only can we use it on the trail in events like this, but then when we get back to Chattanooga, we could go rescue others on the trail, or we could just go do mobile welding jobs as needed. So we did a lot of fabricating here to where we got lockable pins, spring-loaded lockable pins, and this bumper rolls down out of the way. We have a slider table and a hydraulic system so that we can just push our stuff right on out. All right, so we have the Miller Multimatic 220 AC/DC, which is a multi-process machine, AC/DC, TIG welding, MIG welding, stick welding, and the Miller Fusion 160 engine drive power source. It doesn't stop there though. We have also a Miller Spectrum 625 plasma cutter. We have onboard air compressor system, and then that's how we run our plasma cutter, as well as being able to fill up people's tires. On this reel right here from Reelcraft, this reel right here pulls out, and this is where we use our shielding gas. So we can easily transfer from our argon to our 75-25, and then work at least 50 foot from the car. So that retracts there. Also from Reelcraft, we have a 3-prong plug for our electricity. So again, we can work 50 foot from the car with that. Electricity comes off the engine drive. Up top here we have a hose reel for our torches, and then we also on the other side have a hose reel for our compressed air. So big shout out to Reelcraft Kimmeline for providing us with the fuel for our cutting system, Holston gases for the bottles and the gas. We wanted to have 12-volt air compressors, and we ordered 2 of the highest CFM air compressors that you'd probably typically find in the lowrider bag cars, you know, stuff like that. But those pumps didn't come through in time, so we went to Northern Tool and we bought a small 15-gallon air compressor, a 110, and we just robbed everything right off the top of it. So we mounted the pump inside, so when the engine drive's running, we can plug that pump in, and that pump will fill up our 2 200 CFM bottles that are stored up underneath the car that actually act as rock sliders too. So we got a lot of flack from people like, oh, that compressed air in those cylinders, but dude, those bottles are quarter wall. They're tucked into the chassis. They're mounted with big, mounting brackets and stuff, and they're probably thicker than anybody else's rock sliders that they typically use that material for.
So first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming out. It's pretty awesome to see such an eclectic group of cars. They all barely made it here, it sounds like. This here is Jeremy Rose. He's going to be our trail guide. I don't know any of these trails. If you have any questions on how long it's going to take, where we're going to be, he's the guy you got to ask.
So if you need something that anybody can help with, let us know. Let's help out, because this park is huge. And most people don't understand that, but it is massive. So every trail is miles long almost. So yeah, it takes a while, so we got to get going.
So Windrock Park is 73,000 acres. They've got 35 cabins you can rent. They've got RV hookups. There's 320 miles of trails here, and then it abuts another 230,000 public acres. So like essentially you got 300,000 acres of trails here to use. It's massive. We've got a couple of challenges and competitions that are going to happen tomorrow, so I'm going to go over how all this works. Nitro gear and axle supplied everybody with a little swag bag, got some t-shirts, stickers. So what we also have is Deathwish windshield banners, 1 letter at a time, and this is where the games begin. You have a windshield banner that spells Deathwish 1 letter at a time. I have a series of accomplishments throughout the day, throughout the weekend, a accomplishment that will earn you a letter, assisting a competitor down the trail. So if somebody's stuck and you help them get unstuck, you earn the chance to get a letter. Repairing a competitor's, one of your opponents. This is the community building exercise. We're all here to have fun. If you see trash on the side of the trail and you pick that trash up, you earn the right to put one more letter on your windshield banner.
Woo! More trash.
2 wheels in the air gets a letter. 4 wheels in the air gets a letter.
I should get 2 letters.
Yes, I'm talking to you, Eric. Does last night count? Rev limiter on any obstacle counts. At the end of the day, it might be nighttime. I've got 10 hockey sticks and a couple of street balls. We're playing Deathwish dirt hockey, shirts versus skins. So you have the opportunity to win another sticker. Choose your teammates wisely. There will be a very short, but a drag race. There will be obstacle course, tug of war. Yes. I'm talking to Michael Brandt with the dually.
I don't know, I got 12 valves. I got 2 more.
And then we have a bonus that'll come out tomorrow. So the goal is to spell Deathwish on your windshield. And a very important part of this, none of these activities count unless you catch it on film. So
before doing something dumb, make sure you get the attention of the cameraman.
Right. Right.
And you can double up.
Yeah, so if you want to get 2 wheels in the air 10 times, you get all the stickers. I don't care. Tomorrow, we're going to start at 9. You need to be in your car ready at 9. Not 10. So we need to be punctual. Coming from the guy who made it a day late. I get it.
Where's your car?
It's hard to say, isn't it? You was stuttering there.
That was hard to get out. I deserve all the flack.
Serious.
I think he was actually serious. That's the funny part.
I also want to introduce Brent. He's the guy kind of in charge around here. Do you have anything to add?
Just want to welcome everybody to Windrock Park. Glad that, sorry it didn't make it on the west coast like it was planned, but I'm happy it's here at Windrock Park. We are the largest privately owned park in the country, which I say a lot because I'm really proud of that. We're proud of our trail system, we're proud of the business, and we're excited to have this here. The one thing I will say is every person on the trails has to have a land use permit. We're giving that to all of you guys and gals. That wasn't a gender-related statement, but some places are per vehicle. We are per person, so everybody has to have that. That's our liability waiver. So if you don't have one, you need to go to the campground office. They're the only ones that know Deathwish TV. The general store doesn't, so if you don't have a permit, you need to do that before you get out on the trail.
Hi, my name is Sean Cross. I'm from Ore City, Texas. Car name is Greta. It's a 85 Grand Marquis. It's on the stock frame, stock 302. It's got a Granny 4-speed 208 transfer case, 3-inch body lift, so I don't have to cut the floor to clear the transfer case. It's got a 2005 Dana 60 up front out of a Super Duty, a 5-ton Rockwell rear with a 53-inch Michelin on the back. Just a pretty simple build. It's 1-link suspension in the rear and then a factory radius arm in the front that I modified a little bit. I've always followed the Mad Max stuff, and so this build is not as nice of a car as I like to build. So I thought, well, I'm gonna build a Mad Max style. Well, Mad Max has got to have bigger tires in the rear, so bigger tires, bigger rear end, all that.
Hi, this is Eric with Stealth Performance Products, and I'm from New Hampshire. This is my Duramax van. We like to call it Vendetta. This creature originally showed up in my booth down at Daytona Truck Meet towing a smoker trailer. The suspension was all hobbled up, leaf spring bound up. It had kind of like the basic design, like this stuff up here. But I wanted to perform, not just for looks. So what I did is I chopped everything from the frame down, replaced the axles, transfer case, all the suspension, everything I could touch, Yeah, well, we went with the early Ford Super 60 axles. We've been figuring out the steering setup, I've been mangling it up. This thing got all crunched up there. It's kind of, been evolving over time, but we ended up putting that PSC, the hydro assist. We got lockers front and rear. We geared, 456. There's 40 by 15 5 tires. The motor and trans are stock, but I did blow up my transfer case down at King of the Hammers. We had it rebuilt overnight, actually, which worked out good. I plan on getting it airborne. I want to get it stuck. I'd like to see what can break so we can fix it before next time I bring it out. One of the reasons I have this van is, I mean, I'm just a huge van guy. I get vans, buses, things like that, or just van front end. I'm all about them. But one of the shows I was at recently, you know, for example, we had a Rolls-Royce Hurricane, $600,000 vehicle, all pimped out, and people were literally leaning against it like this to take pictures at the show. I mean, it's just a head turn. It doesn't matter where you go. I mean, it's just unique, and that's what I really like about it. So I like the oddball shit. So here it is.
What was supposed to be day 2 is now day 1 of the Deathwish Mud Buggy Adventure. We're all getting lined up, ready to roll. We're gonna do a quick easy road ride, and then get onto the trail. I know my rights. Yeah, buddy, we'll see if you do. I don't have to answer to you. I don't have to say anything.
What's the problem here?
Well, had a little bit of death wobble. Figured I'd better check it out. Apparently, I didn't tighten this up when I built it. And so if we lose our drag link off the pitman arm, it might be a little dangerous.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I got it. Is it scary?
A little bit, yeah.
But gonna make it back
What's
to camp.
the name of this thing? Deathwish?
Deathwish, yeah, y'all got
so
one.
It's kind of fitting.
No, it doesn't make milkshakes, but
A little hot?
No, I was just checking her out. She's doing good.
Checking her vitals.
It's a Ford. I mean, it's gonna have problems.
Yeah, exactly. You just keep running her. Yeah.
We all good to make tracks?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we'll make it back up the hill, but we'll find out.
Oh.
First,
I do.
tire humping
Yeah, right
event.
there.
Got it.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit more wouldn't hurt.
So the caddy couldn't make it up the hill in high range, so they're gonna try to shift it into or low with a screwdriver because they don't have a shifter, and then see if they can get up the hill. If not, oh, big girl here, chubby gal, she's gonna tow her up. Props for bringing a convertible. That's low range. She's chug-a-lugging along now. Cadillac convertible with a roll cage. The good news is 4-low works.
It does work. That's a good sign.
What's up? Is this the Ford thing or the Dodge thing? What's the problem?
This is the P7100
Nope.
series pump thing.
No problem at all. Actually, it's been driving really phenomenal for us. The idle is just a little too high, so oh boy.
Oh,
hey
now.
I didn't know we were making those kind of movies.
Jeez. So yeah, the idle's just a little high. We just want to get it down a little bit, make it a little bit more manageable for the lower gears. So we'll just.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm from Cedar Bluff, Alabama. I own Nitro Gear and Axle.
And this is our 1990 Crown Victoria, and we call it the Yee Yee Mobile.
We actually bought this car built out of Texas. The car next to us, Sean Cross, actually built this. We did a few little minor touches to it, but it's got a 9-inch rear that we put a spool in and 486 gears because it just had 350 gears when we bought it. It's got a Dana 44 high pinion front. Both of these axles are out of like a late 70s Ford F-250, and so of course we re-geared the front to 488. It's got a TJM Pro Locker in the front. It's got Nitro chromoly inner axles, Nitro 30 spline outers, and Nitro 30 spline drive flange kit on this car. It's also got a S10 5-speed manual transmission and 2 transfer cases, both out of an S10 as well. So the thing's got ultra low gearing, and it wheels great on these 36-inch swampers. We just drove it into town and got Starbucks, and she drives down the road perfect. The motor is just a stock EFI 302, similar to what you'd find in a Mustang. The motor's had no mods done to it at all. Right now I think she needs head gaskets. She runs a little hot and boils over at times, but that's kind of part of the fun right now.
Hi, I'm Tim Davis. This is Jacob Davis. We're from Noonan, Georgia, and represent Sally's Speed Shop.
And this is our 1967 Cadillac DeVille drop top on 39.5-inch tires that we call Mr. Big. So we were going to build a 1978 Pacer, but we ran out of time because we're in the process of building our shop. So we found this gem on Facebook Marketplace, and when we saw the picture, we just couldn't say no. I mean, a 67 Cadillac drop top on a 1980 K10 chassis. Sure, it's got 10-bolt axles with 39.5-inch tires, which is a really bad idea, but just look at it. And it's got small block Chevy, turbo 350, MP205, and unfortunately we ran into a bit of a snafu while we were putting this thing together, and as a result we only have rear-wheel drive, which is not ideal for off-roading, but the car did remarkably well yesterday considering. And we kind of bought it how it looks, but we actually welded the frames together and made it run and drive, gave it a roll bar so if we do roll it over we'll survive. Of course, the Cadillac horns on the hood, you gotta have that, and the trophy truck spec spare tire setup. I mean, overall I think it turned out pretty killer, even though it's not necessarily the most capable vehicle here. And we're just here to have a good time. So with parts we actually used, of stuff we bought, and the price of the car, we're somewhere between $3,500 and $4,000, which honestly, how could you turn more heads for that price than with this? I mean, 67 Cadillac drop top, and we call it Mr. Big because if you've seen Smokey and the Bandit, at the very beginning and the very end, there's a red Cadillac owned by Big Enos and Little Enos that drives into the show and then drives out of the show, and the plate read Mr. Big. So that's the name, and I think it looks pretty killer. I'm a fan of this car. I don't think we'll be able to sell it after this.
I'm Justin Neal from Santan Valley, Arizona.
I'm Travis Carlson from Santan Valley, Arizona. This is our 1976 Buick Electra. We call it the Mud Dunk.
We found this 1976 Buick on Craigslist. It had been sitting in old man's backyard. It has 44,000 miles on it, and for $300 we decided that this was a good way to start. I had a 1977 F-250 sitting in a buddy's house in the desert, just rotting away. I wasn't going to do anything with it, so we decided we could put them together, and it actually worked out really well. Chassis itself is a 77 Ford F-250, so it's got Dana 44 in the front, Dana 60 in the rear, and it's a Highboy, which has a divorce transfer case, and it's got a 460 motor with a C6 automatic transmission, and we didn't really touch any of it. It just, we got it running and going good enough to get it here. Well, at least we thought. After some troubles, we eventually got a trailer, and then we were able to get it here.
And this is, you definitely win the furthest driven award for sure. Like coming all the way from Arizona is super impressive. So congrats for that. So, all right, man, good luck. See what you can do.
Thanks, sir. Next time on the Deathwish Mud Buggy Adventure, it's time to see what these off-road cars can do as we explore Windrock Off-Road Park in Tennessee.